Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the World Class Mentors. We are a radio show and podcast celebration of people who have truly achieved world class by sharing their stories and honoring their mentors. We have a very special guest today. We'd also like to acknowledge our corporate sponsor. The World Class Mentors is sponsored by KDDM Inc., a world class digital marketing agency and image maker for speakers, authors, healers, and coaches. KDDM brings the best-in-class tools and resources for our entrepreneurs with our done-for-you and done-with-you solutions. We thank KDDM for bringing it on. Oh my goodness, do I have a treat for you today. We have Sasha Seban. Sasha, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I am great from sunny California.
Oh my goodness. So you're really up early this morning. Sasha is an internationally recognized as a soul purpose expert, a master sound and energy healer, an emerging public speaker, and a spiritual business coach. You are the entrepreneur's intuition and purpose soul coach healer. Well, that's quite a title there, Sasha. You want to tell me a little bit about that?
Yes, and that you do have to take a deep breath before you say all that. It's true. Basically, my work in the world is to assist business owners and also people who have leadership positions in the community, in their corporations, in their offices, so that they are making their decisions, taking their actions, moving through the challenges of life, and consciously creating what it is they want to create to the best of their ability so that they are coming from their soul wisdom. And that's very distinct from one's intellect, one's logical, rational approach to things. And as a healer, because I do work with divine high-frequency energies, I assist people in removing the energy constructs, which other people might refer to as blocks, that are actually driving beliefs and behaviors and actions that just don't serve them. It's like, no. And so you put those two together, your soul wisdom, your soul force, and a clear highway from having blocks removed, and your days, your creations, your relationships, your health, your wealth, your sense of inner peace are far more accelerated. That's what that means.
I love it. Now, you've got about 30 years of experience as you facilitate with your clients, your students, and audiences in removing those types of blocks that you're talking about, right? So you
Yes.
help them achieve success, and they accelerate the intuition axis. So this is just such a unique thing to do for 30 years. Can you give me a couple of examples of some of your best success stories, Nastasha?
Yes. In fact, just recently, I've been involved with, let's see, how do I want to say this? I've been involved with agencies, let's just call it that way. I've been involved with agencies to help them with a crime and corruption resolution, something that was going on that was very complex. It's still ongoing. That's why I have to talk sort of loosely like this. And these energies that I work with, as well as the intuitive access, can help a person get information that is accurate, that is true, even under radical pressure, life-threatening pressure, where you learn how. I teach my clients, my students, the members of my membership to quickly get into a centered place so that they are aware of their emotions. However, their emotions do not decenter them, which would be the cost of being decentered, is making decisions, taking actions that will not be for the highest good for themselves or for whatever project. So if you move that into the business world, you could be on the stage, you could be talking to a potential client, you could be talking to a current customer, and something goes a little haywire, or you go a little haywire. And then the issue is, the challenge is, the opportunity is to use your tools to get centered, to have your energy optimized, raise your vibration, meaning elevate your highest vibrational broadcasting energy, which then impacts the environment and makes whatever is going on, a sale, a marketing strategy, a reaching out to be interviewed and be chosen, all of these things that go into being in business will be more heightened for the highest possible resolution. So I hope that that gives you a sense, a picture, a feel of what we're talking about when we take these very lofty, elusive concepts of energy, psychic abilities, soul purpose, and then ground it into, well, yeah, so great, that sounds interesting. How do I use it in my day-to-day life? That's how you use it in your day-to-day life.
But that makes a lot of sense now. Yeah, I'm sorry. That does make a lot of sense, because the next question was, what do you mean by soul purpose? And you've just told us what it meant before I asked.
Well, that's what happens when you're psychic, right? See, that just answers it. That's what it's like in everyday life. I picked up right away. And so imagine the people who in their businesses and even in their personal life, they just are trained, or they take what is already part of their God-given gift package that they came into this lifetime with, and they enhance it so that they are able to just know. They pick up on things. And, the spirit teams that I work with just gave us a little sneak tweak preview, sort of a fun game to show you exactly what it's like in action. The fact that I picked up on you going in that direction was not a coincidence. Now, it's a small thing in that we're here in an interview, and I picked up on something that we already know is going to be part of our content today. Yes, that's true. However, it's also the timing of me saying that at that very juncture is the issue. And if the people who are listening to this interview could just see themselves with the opportunity of being able to just know what's in the flow of what's happening in their moment, so that they can be optimally prepared, so that they can be optimally ready to contribute, to take care of themselves if it's an issue that requires that they be more self-aware for safety reasons. All of these things just make the day have a heightened quality of life. It doesn't mean that we don't have issues, and God knows, right, Tony? We know at this time we are fraught with challenges occurring all around us. However, that doesn't change. Issues, challenges, that doesn't change. It's how we handle them. It's how we feel about who we become as we're handling them. That's where the soul purpose and the soul force jewels reside, in who we become and the experience that we have in the midst of the good stuff as well as the not such good stuff.
Sasha, what do you mean when you say there's like a chemical connection between soul radiance and revenue?
Yeah, the word is alchemical, but it still is a kind of chemistry. It's okay. Between soul, ask me the question again.
What do you mean when you say there's an alchemical connection between soul radiance and revenue?
Yeah. Well, it all goes back to vibration. And by vibration, I mean, the listeners and certainly yourself can just reflect, let's say, upon the most recent time when you had a challenge. And that triggered emotions. Now, how did that make you feel? And therefore, when you notice how you feel in both your body and your emotions and your thought patterns, all of that affects your vibration. It probably, we could say, it lowers your vibration. Now, the more people can become masterful at commanding the quality of their thoughts, emotions, and their physicality, then they are in more of a in-control position to impact their vibration. Now, when there is more of a soul alignment, meaning the human side of us is working in partnership with our soul's beauty, power, wisdom, purpose. That alone creates a heightened vibration because we and our soul are working together, as opposed to our personality self with all of our programs and beliefs and, experiences that may or may not have been happy ones, as well as those that were wonderful experiences. All of that impacts our personality self. Now, the more that we're able to keep bringing forward the more positive of interpretation of how our life has been, how our businesses are going, the more we're able to keep that vibration higher and higher and higher. And the higher our vibration is, the more we're able to tap into and activate and elicit and actually mold and manifest that which we would call abundance, that which we would call our highest good, that which we would call bringing to us the best that life can offer in that moment. And therefore, our radiance, our soul purpose radiance, our soul radiance is a effect of being maximally soul aligned. When we are soul aligned, our vibration is heightened. When our vibration is heightened, we are maximally receptive to our highest good, which includes revenue, other kinds of abundance, abundance of love, abundance of people wanting to give to us, abundance of people around us praising us, telling us how much of a gift we are in their life. That's another kind of abundance. As opposed to when somebody is suffering, when somebody is in a great state of despair, depression, anger, or their integrity scale is out of whack, meaning they don't have any integrity or they don't have enough integrity, and they're hurting other people as well as themselves as well as other species. All of that will lower a person's vibration. And people feel that. We know that. I'm sure that the people who are listening to this interview knows how even if a person does not say a word, eventually if you stand close enough to somebody who's in a quote-unquote bad space or an unhappy space or a depressed space or an evil space, meaning, they like to hurt people or they like to hurt animals or they like to hurt the environment consciously, you can feel that. You can feel that. And do we really want to be around somebody like that? Absolutely not. So there you have it. That's the connection between soul radiance, soul purpose radiance, and revenue.
I love it. Sasha, you have, we talk about people's lives and we celebrate your life and what you've accomplished so far. And that's why you're on the show called the World Class Mentors. But specifically, tell me, how did you arrive here? Who were your mentors? Who inspired you?
Well, I had, oddly enough, two people come to mind. One was my elementary school teacher, who because I was highly sensitive and an empath, and there was a lot of turbulence in my family of origin. I was not a happy girl. I was not a happy little baby in elementary school. And I would be crying a lot. I mean, it was a painful time of my life. And I had a treasure trove, I'm going to call it a treasure trove, of health issues that were very elusive. So I was not functioning well, which is how I got into having my own business, which is a later topic. This woman, this teacher, had an insight into me. She had an affection and a love for me that even though I was crying a lot and very high-strung, she was always there for me. So she became a mentor of acceptance, of unconditional love, of compassion, of no matter how a situation may be challenging, because I would, show up at her door, bless her heart, when she was teaching a class with other people, and I would be so ripped apart inside, and I would knock on her door and she would stop her class and she would invite me in, and I knew to be very quiet. But the fact that she did that, the fact that she embraced me, really did make a huge difference in my life, especially in my elementary school years. My next mentor is a man who really saved my life psychically, spiritually, and he was my very first spiritual teacher. He's still alive. He's not known as a spiritual teacher. He's more known as a remarkable jazz musician. His name is Tusziji Munoz. And Spirit led me to him when I went to college up in Canada. And the bottom line is he introduced me to the world of psychic phenomenon and the healing sound current. And I believe that my work with him and being in his presence activated a lot of my own spiritual tools, such as being able to heal with toning. And truly, if I had not met him, I don't know where I'd be today, because I was such a lost soul as a young adult. And those are my two main mentors.
Can you spell Tusiji's name?
T as in Tom, I, S as in Sam, I, J, I, let's see, Tusziji, there you go. T as in Tom, I, S as in Sam, I, J as in Jack, I, Tusziji. And his music.
What a great name.
Yeah, well, it's his spiritual name. His music is radical. You know, he's in the same camp as the real out there soul force musicians, and people can find his stuff on YouTube. He's a tremendous channel, a profound heart. He was by far my main mentor as a young adult.
How wonderful! Now, what was his last name?
Munoz. M as in Mary, U, N as in Nancy, O, Z as in zebra.
You're going to laugh, Sasha. That's my maiden
I know. See, I knew why you and I were connected. I knew.
You're just drawn to the Munozes, that's all. Okay, now listen, I hear that you've got a gift for us, for all our listeners.
I do. So if you go to should I go ahead with my website address, Tony?
Of course, go ahead.
Yeah. When people go to my website, which is entrepreneursoulcoach.com, and you do have to spell entrepreneur correctly or else you will never get there. I did not buy up every version of the misspelling of entrepreneur when I did my domain name. So when they go to that address, Entrepreneur Soul Coach, and you put in your contact information, people will get a MP3 of a presentation I gave at an eWomen network luncheon several years ago, Electrify Your Business Mojo. And in there are some self-mastery exercises that people can work on for themselves to manage their passion and be aware of their state and how to influence their state, no matter what's going on in their outer world. There's also a report in there on clarity, and it touches on the main ways of creating your inner world so that you can impact and have more control over creating the desired outer world. There's also an opportunity for people to have a 15-minute activation session with me where I'll ask some very pointed questions, and I will give people some resources and things that they can do that I believe would be helpful for where they are on their soul purpose path in their personal and their business lives. And if it's appropriate, we can go into a longer conversation together. And that's the gift. Now, as soon as people subscribe in there, they also, of course, get on my newsletter announcement list. They'll also get access to my Soul Purpose Success Tip series, which is filled with energy tools, intuition tools, soul purpose and mission and message tools. And it's really meant to be a home self-study so that people can start really working on changing their attitudes, their mindset, amping up their courage, their confidence, their sense of self-worth, and their effectiveness so that their strategies for personal and professional issues come in partnership of their soul and their personality self or their ego. And all they have to do is go to my website, find that ever-present opt-in box that we all know about on everybody's website, and that's how they start.
And also, we'll have all that available on the worldclassmentors.com. And when we all celebrate your interviews coming out, so this is kind of wonderful. By the way, everyone, the World Class Mentors is looking for guests, and as we round up today's interview, we're going to ask you to go to theworldclassmentors.com and be our guest. Click on the little apply to be a guest and fill it out, and our producers will get right back with you and get you scheduled. So, Sasha, this has been just such an enlightening and beautiful interview. And I mean, there's just so much to give. Now, let me ask you this. As we get ready to go to the next level of our show, we usually start off by celebrating your life, and then, of course, we dance with the one who brung you, which are your mentors. Now, going forward, how are you paying it forward, and what is the legacy that you would like to leave?
Ah, beautiful. The legacy that I want to leave is for people to have an attitude about the uniqueness of their life, their soul purpose path, and how everything that has happened to them, what I call the good, the bad, and the ugly, what I also called is a sacred wound, that which has molded them to become the unique personalities with the unique skills that they have studied and the unique gifts with which they were born. Those are all by design, by divine design. And for people to really step back and observe and absorb what their life has entailed and why they have an important influence on those around them, people, other species, environment, etc. So the legacy is to be awake and to want to choose to be a part of the evolutionary trajectory that we're on right now, which is to bring in greater compassion, greater spiritual power, greater spiritual laws, not religious, but spiritual, so that the earth plane can evolve towards greater light and love and laughter, really, joy, the joy of being alive. That's the legacy. How I'm paying it forward? Well, I'm an animal advocate. I help the underdog, both the human underdog and the other species underdog. And I am known to stop everything when something or someone or another being is in need, and help in any way that I can. And at some point, this project that I'm on right now that has to do with other agencies, I have been paying forward with this in huge ways, where lives have been saved, where crimes have been stopped and avoided. I mean, it truly is a blockbuster movie, and someday it will become a blockbuster movie. And I don't mean to sound mysterious, but I have to be. I can't say much more about it.
I love it. Absolutely. I love the mysterious Sasha.
Yeah.
Everyone, I want to remind you that the World Class Mentors is sponsored by KDDM INC. It's a world-class digital marketing agency and image maker for speakers, authors, coaches, and wonderful people like Sasha healers. KDDM brings best-in-class tools and resources for our entrepreneurs. And by the way, that's ENTREPRENEURS, so that you can get to Sasha's place. With our Done For You and Done With You solutions, we thank KDDM. And if you are interested in becoming a sponsor for the World Class Mentors, please go to theworldclassmentors.com, fill out your contact form, and like Sasha says, reach out, because we'll be there and we would love to have you with us. Sasha, I can't tell you what a great interview this has been. I love hearing about you, your progress, your goals, all your experience, and your mission to heal the heart of humanity through mentoring soul purpose and business owners, and through the reverent honoring of other species. Sasha is also an animal healer, so we want to welcome you and thank you for spending time with us, Sasha. And here we go. On to the next.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you for all that you do to offer a platform and a launch pad for people who are hungry to bring their work out into the world, and you do it with such class. So thank you.
Thank you. And that was a non-paid commercial, by the way.
That was. She didn't plant me here for that. I'm not a plant.
Thank you. And on to the next. Congratulations, Sasha.